Hi, this is Eric Lofholm and welcome to closing tip number 20. Great job for watching this video right now. You know, sometimes I'll be at the gym, I'll be running on the treadmill, and sometimes I'll run for a set amount of time, like 20 minutes, and I'll be at the 18-minute mark. And I'll just get this surge of enthusiasm knowing I only have 2 more minutes to go before I'm finished. And it's like that right now because there's only 2 tips left. And I've saved 2 of my best tips for last. Tip number 20 is elegantly dancing with the prospect. You see, when you get to the end of your presentation, you ask for the order. If you're selling one-on-one, you're going to ask for the order and be silent. Like, how do you feel about moving forward? And then you're silent. And it's like giving the prospect a hot potato. So now they have the hot potato, and they might give you an objection. See, they're either going to say yes or give you an objection. That's typically what happens in just about every case. So how do you feel about moving forward? You give them the hot potato, and they say, well, I need to think about it. So now you catch that hot potato back. So now what do you want to do? You want to give it back to them. And there's this banter that goes on back and forth between you and the prospect. This also happens in real-world influence. When my son, who's now in 3rd grade, was in kindergarten, I remember picking him up from school one day, and he said, Dad, can we go to McDonald's today? I said, Brandon, not today. So when he said, can we go to McDonald's, he gave me the hot potato. And I said, not today, son, and I gave it back to him. And then he said, oh, come on, Dad. Now he gave me the hot potato. And I said, Brandon, we just went yesterday. I gave him the hot potato. And then he said, just this once. You see, there was a banter that went on back and forth between me and my son. And this is what happens in real-world influence. Here's what we know. We know that when you get to the end of your presentation and you ask the prospect to buy from you, we know that they're going to give you objections in some cases. Objections are a normal, natural part of the sales process. So you want to be prepared for how you're going to respond so you can have this natural banter back and forth between you and the prospect. And I call this process elegantly dancing with a prospect. So I'm going to give you a couple of specific scripts on what you can do in your very next presentation, and perhaps this will help you close the sale. So you say, how do you feel about moving forward? Or would you like to start out with a 3-month supply or a 6-month supply? Or are you ready to get started? You know, whatever your final close is. Give them the hot potato. And they go, well, the price is too high. So now you have the hot potato. So one way you can give them the hot potato back, it's called investigative selling. No matter what they say, you say, tell me more about that. So they say the price is too high. So then you go, tell me more about that. You give them the hot potato back, and now they have to respond and give you more information. Another thing you can say is you can handle an objection with a question. So how do you feel about moving forward? And then they say, well, I need to talk it over with my spouse. So you could say, is that your only concern? And then you're silent because you give them the hot potato back. Or, what do you think your spouse is going to say? That's a question. Or, if your spouse says yes, does that mean that you'll move forward? So those are a couple of different techniques on how to do this. Now, I was working with one of my clients one time. His name was Joe. And at the time, Joe was selling air purifiers. He gets to the end of his presentation, and he asked the person, would you like to buy an air purifier today? And the prospect says, the price is too high. So Joe's prepared. He's trained by me, and Joe says, well, tell me more about that. And the prospect says, well, actually, it's not the price. Joe says, well, what is it? He said, well, it's my wife. Joe says, well, tell me more about that. And the guy says, well, I've got 2 air purifiers sitting in my garage. And they're broken. They don't work. So if I buy an air purifier from you, and then I tell my wife, I just bought another air purifier, and she's going to go, well, the last ones you bought were broken, and I don't want to have that conversation with my wife. So Joe says, well, let me ask you a question. Where'd you buy the air purifiers from? And the gentleman told him. He said, well, that sounds like a reputable company. If they're broken, they don't work. Have you tried to return them? The guy goes, well, no, I haven't. So Joe says, why don't you call up the company, see if they'll take them back. If they'll take those air purifiers back, would you buy mine? And the guy says, yeah, I guess so. So Joe calls him back. He said, what did the company say? He said, well, they said they'd take them back. He said, well, since they'll take them back, will you buy mine? And the prospect said yes. Joe made the sale by elegantly dancing with the prospect. One time I was talking with one of my clients. I got to the end of my presentation. I was selling a group mentoring program that was limited to 20 people. I got to the end. I said, would you like to be one of the 20 clients that I work with? Gave him the hot potato. He said, Eric, I don't have the money. So he gave me the hot potato. I handled it with a question. I said, if you don't do this, then what are you going to do? And I was silent. He said, do you take American Express? And I closed a $5,000 sale because I elegantly danced with the prospect and I had the right words. So tip number 20 is elegantly dance with a prospect.